أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Now, let me share with you some wisdom. What is the wisdom behind the prohibition of music, the prohibition of musical instruments, singing, and the likes? And we will include Islamic Nasheed, not all of it, but the one that you see today on YouTube and otherwise. But before that, let me tell you what Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyya rahimahullah said. He said, speaking about Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu had said that singing cultivates hypocrisy in the heart. He said, these are the words of someone who fully understood singing and its effects. Been there, done that. I can testify to this. For no one regularly sings or listens to songs except that his heart falls into nifaq, hypocrisy, without him realizing. Listen to this. If such a person understood the reality of nifaq, hypocrisy, and its end, he would see it in his own heart. Never do the love of songs and love of the Qur'an come together in a person's heart. Never do they come together in a person's heart, except that one expels the other. If the singing comes in, the Qur'an is out. If the Qur'an comes in, the singing is out. And let me share with you my own personal experience concerning this issue. In another country, I was with a man in a car, going to what? Jumu'ah, Salatul Jumu'ah. Now, what are you supposed to be doing on the way to the masjid? Takbir? Tasbih. Particularly on Jumu'ah, sending the salah, right? Durood Sharif, Salat Salam ala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? It's Jumu'ah, it's reciting Surah Al-Kahf. You haven't memorized it, you listen to it, so when you get to the masjid you can read it, something along these lines, right? So here I am, a happy camper, sitting with this older man, and I just got my hand, this is when Allah first guided me, right? I'm still, I just left the music and all that nonsense, no more, I was no longer a rapper. I have this beautiful recitation, beautiful recitation of the Qur'an, that really gets you involved. One of these Egyptian Qurra who really do the tartil correctly. So, I'm comfortable with the man. I pop in my tape in his tape player in the vehicle, and I'm, listening to the Qur'an, and everything is lovely to me. I'm just sitting there having a good old time. All of a sudden, the man panics, right? It's as if he was afflicted with a tornado. He suddenly, the old school tapes, you press eject and the tape, jumps out. He pressed it like, in a very, very harsh manner. The tape popped out. He got another tape which he had on the side. He put it in, and guess what it was? Sudais? He didn't like Egyptian reciters, he wanted the Saudi ones? No, it was music. And he started going like this, and I'm sitting next to him. I said, man, this brother's serious. Or I didn't have transportation. I was about to tell him, drop me off, as soon as you can. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. The man was unable to hear the Qur'an. Unable to hear the Qur'an. His mind was stuck on this song. And he heard so much, the tartil is slow, right? They recite the ayah, then he's silent for like 30 seconds, and he recites maybe he wasn't able to deal with the slow manner of delivery, he couldn't take it anymore, he had to listen to his favorite songs. And this is exactly what he's saying. When one comes in, it expels the other. He said, I and others have witnessed how heavy the Qur'an feels to singers and song listeners, how they coil when it is recited, and how they get angry when a reciter, with a reciter when he recites too long for them in prayer. Sometimes you lead the people in salah, and you recite just a little bit longer than what they're used to. Instead of, a quarter of a page, you recite half a page. And after the salah, 15 people come to you. Brother, why? Why? Maghrib should be only Kawthar, Ikhlas. Why you recite Surah Al-Infitar? Subhanallah. Ya akhi, this is the Qur'an. Are you serious? I don't care what your situation is. It's not like they had something. If he came and told me, brother, I had a meeting, Barakallah feek, you delayed me, I'll say, forgive me, I apologize. There's nothing, he's going to remain in the masjid till Isha. but he can't listen to it. Too long. It's too long of the Qur'an. Right? It's ajib, ajib. But this is what he's talking about. It becomes heavy. Then he said, they are not moved to do anything by it. But when the Qur'an of shaitan comes, which is what? Singing. They call it the Qur'an of the shaitan. Not the Qur'an of the Rahman, the Qur'an of shaitan. When it comes, La ilaha illallah. How they lower their voices, khushu', and they settle down. How their hearts feel at peace, and how their crying and emotions start. How moved they are inwardly and outwardly, and spend on clothing and perfume and staying up, hoping for a long night ahead. It is not the nifaq. It is not nifaq. If this is not nifaq, hypocrisy, then certainly it is the way to it and its foundation. Yes. Very precise. These people, and I realized this myself, that at the time of depression, what do you want to listen to? Your favorite song. When Romeo couldn't get Juliet, what did he do? He pulled out the guitar and came downstairs. Bang, 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 and Juliet was at the porch within minutes. When a loser, a male loser cannot get a female loser, he writes a song to her and he sings it, and suddenly she's in love with him. Right or wrong? Come on now. If you've been there, you know what I'm saying. If you've never been there, alhamdulillah, Allah saved you from a lot of headaches. Don't you ever go there. But these are the facts. These people receive khushu', and I read this with my own eye in one of the nasheed. I'm coming to the nasheed. In one of these nasheed, I went to YouTube. I don't listen to it in any way, shape or form. But before the lecture, I had to prepare myself. So I wanted to see what is out there. What is out there? We got advice from different brothers and sisters, via email. Who are the famous munshideen in the ummah today? Not the ulama, the munshideen. One of them, may Allah guide us and guide him, and I'm not saying this in order to publicize anyone, but I'm saying this so you will know who you can deal with and who you cannot. Some guy named Bukhatir. Forgot the first name, Ahmed Bukhatir, something like that. Anyways, this guy has a song called Last Breath. Shockingly enough, Last Breath was written by a Christian. The words, the lyrics of the song are not by a Muslim. It's written by a kafir, sung like the way of the kuffar with a video clip, right? I'm not going to act, right? But I don't know how to express myself. It's so irritating to see a Muslim man doing a video clip like the other people, walking around, wearing his best clothes and trying to look attractive to the women, not giving a lecture, not telling, because maybe Yusuf was beautiful. Yusuf alayhi salam was so beautiful that the lady he was living with was his supposedly adopted, the mother who supposedly adopted him, if you want to put it in this context, had a problem with him. So we're not going to blame someone for looking good or sounding good, but we will blame them for trying to use this in a manner that is un-Islamic. Anyways, you know what the comments said? One of the comments said by the Muslims, there was one by the non-Muslims. It said, I'm not a Muslim, listen to this, I'm not a Muslim, but this is my favorite singer in the world. I was like, A'udhu billah. If the non-Muslims think this is his favorite singer in the world, what did they leave for the rest, man? A Muslim said, my heart is very hard. I've never cried until I heard this nasheed. Do you think this is good? La wallah, this is not. The book of Allah, we will see, it's not effective. But the nasheed, which you cannot even tell it's a nasheed, right? They just call it nasheed. The manner, the delivery, the people in the background, the vocals, the band, the production, the CDs, it's music. It's a music business disguised under Islamic nasheeds. But this is what happened.
الذين هم على صلاتهم دائمون والذين في أموالهم حق معلوم للسائل والمحروم